Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report and the ASX here on the 1 hour chart, and we're pretty much on track here in terms of this last little impulse wave from wave 4 here to wave 5 here. We have looking for 5 waves in this sequence here, so we have wave 1 and 2 here pulling back more than 61.8%, a nice strong third wave here, a very typical fourth wave here when we see that wave 2 is simple, wave 4 will be complex, and would expect wave 4 to wave 5 coming up here of 5 of 3 here to take out the wave 3 top here. So we could just borrow these from here as 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. We'll put that up there, tightly up there. That can just go a bit further here. So now the thing here is that wave 5 moving up here should take the top out here, but I wouldn't imagine it finding support on this level here, the 5930 here. That's the top of group 1, so 5,900. We've got 10, 20 and 30. They could be a little bit more accurate there, but yeah, so the good thing about group 1, it's quite helpful in that if we get a tested support on top of group 1 here, then we'll go higher to the next level, to the 50 here, and it will separate itself from here. But the overall pattern that we're looking at in this slightly bigger picture here, as I mentioned before, is that we have the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level, and then we have the ABC correction here. So this is the arrival here, this is the reaction here, and this is the first high above the level coming in through to here. So we don't really want to see it finding support on group 2, group 1 here as such here. But once we got that, the way that we handle it in terms of, well, if we're wrong, what's plan B? Well, then we just simply wait. We should get 5 little waves in this little structure here, and this wave 5 here should be much the same length as this one here, and then we can just draw a line across the top there so we don't miss it, just 1 point above. Well, that's 40 there, so we want support on top of that, just as an example, so yeah, that would give us the green light here. But it takes you can see that the 3 here at the top of 30 over here is a resistance here already, so it's going to take a little while to develop support here, and finding support on top of group 1 normally would see the market not really breach the number 2 here, the 920 here. It can spike below it, but on the retest it needs to fail the retest and continue to go up here. So the 2 is very important here, because if the 2 becomes a retested resistance here, then you can be pretty much assured that it's going to be pulled down to the closest largest number here. So the 2 and the 3 here are quite important. Yeah, so let's just see if this pans out here. So we've got wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to, let's just say, I'm not quite sure where it'll go to, but we want a high above here, so we can go to the 40 area here. And if there is support on top of this group 1 here, and not really finding the 2 here, because it normally will go above the level and then come back down to the 2 here, and then get back up and find support here, and then you can go long again from here if that's going to be the case. Okay, so but if not, then we're looking at the wave 4 correction here, and the wave 4 correction normally comes down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, because that's where the volume has supported that. Or we can look at, from wave 2 down here, we can look at the 38.2% retracement level. So they pretty much come in on the same boat. We just don't know where that high is going to be just yet. But once we've got that wave 4 in here, then we can look for wave 5 to move to the upside there. Yeah, so we're pretty much on track. And if we look at one of the banks, any one will do. Let me just find one over here, an Australian bank. Westpac would do the job. So we know the banking sector holds a lot of weight and sway with the ASX 200, and this is a slightly different count than the ASX 200, but it's the same thing here as well. We've had this nice long third wave here, which would be wave 1 and 2 in here, and all the way up for 3 here and 4 here, and going up for 5 here. So we should see this pull back to 33 here, if not below it as well here. So it needs to, just clean this up here a bit, it needs to have its little wave 4 there. So the other banks will be involved in that as well. So I won't put any more trades out on the ASX the ASX stock CFD trades as well. I keep our portfolio risk at 6%, and we're at that 6% at the moment, so we're sort of fully stocked up. So we need some of those stops to be lifted and move into break even or reduce those risks before I can add any more in here. But yeah, we've still got plenty to go in here. So this here we'll be looking at wave 3. So we're pretty much in a bull run for the banks at the moment, which will also put pressure on the resource sector as well, in terms of where the money is spent, so to speak. And this is, when you get into the third wave here, this is where traders start to recognise that, well, we're definitely in a bullish run at this stage here. So yeah, all right. I'm just going to leave it at that, really, because there's not much else to say with the ASX 200 here. All right, cheers.